Okay, so we're messing up the beginning already. Welcome back to another Life with Lenoci episode of the podcast. God, it's going to be a hard episode to get through. Welcome back to another episode of Life with Lenoci podcast, week 25 or something. Who knows? You're already looking at my jersey, which we'll get into, because I always wear black shirts every episode except one. And now I have stories, so I have this, and we have an email. Again, thank you guys for emailing. For those of you who want to email into the podcast, lenoci.michael@gmail.com, and we will keep it between us. It's nothing that we can't help you out with. If you have struggles in life or whatever you want to talk about, we're here for you. Mark and I guess it's his podcast too. He's in it. We just don't put him on screen because, he's no sore eye for candy. He's an eye for sore. He's candy for the sore eye. Anyways, today is a good day. Who are we to say that? We're lying. Hey guys, welcome. It's what, man?
Your energy is so off today.
Oh.
You look so uncomfortable.
So here we go. Music's probably still playing, obviously, because I know the music, the longest the music's ever gone, I think, is like 3 minutes. But I don't really have anything for you guys to be like, oh, yeah, this really makes sense. But, when life gets tough, keep going. So here we are. And, we'll get into this. This is from my childhood. Well, this episode will be called Nostalgia. Having a hard time with words today. I was back home for a little bit, and for personal reasons, going through the closet, and we could end the music here. I was back home for a little bit, cut the music, whatever. Let it just fade out naturally, and we'll see what happens. Going through the closet, and there's this. This is a jersey. It's a baseball jersey, obviously, from Taravella, my high school baseball team. I did not play for the baseball team in high school. I did not play for my high school team, but this is my jersey.
Wait, were you the manager?
I was not the manager.
Were you the water boy?
I was not the water boy.
Were you the bat boy?
I was not the bat boy.
Wait.
I was the
You
special.
were the scorekeeper?
I was nothing affiliated with the baseball team. I was
Were you like the mascot?
No, that would be affiliated with the baseball team. I had no affiliation with the baseball team. This jersey was given to me by the head coach of the baseball team. So it all starts back in middle school. 6th, 7th, 8th grade. are my best years of baseball. I'm doing pretty well. I'm going to the high school baseball camp. It's kind of where they do their own little recruiting. They have a baseball camp for, young baseball players that live in that city because they want to know who's coming into high school. I was good.
Wait, you peaked at 8th grade?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm playing baseball at this camp. I won camper of the week because I was really good at doing baseball impressions as well. And I made a lot of people laugh. Some would say, oh, we would have known he was going to be a comedian. So I was big with the camp, and then, because of puberty and stuff, I get to high school, lose interest, don't play baseball, don't really grow till maybe going into junior year, late into junior year. At that point, it's too late to get involved in sports. You take 2 years off at that age, you're done. Senior year, I'm in social or economics, a simple class that would be simple to teach that a baseball teacher would teach. I want to say not economics, but maybe like social issues or some shit like that, right? Social justice or whatever. He's the teacher, and he remembers me always since I was a kid. And by senior year, it's fun. We had a good soccer team. A lot of us would go to the games and drink, right? Baseball, football, and soccer. Soccer, we won states. Baseball, we were pretty good in baseball. Football, never good because not good in middle-class suburbs. Football teams. So we are, he knows me. I bust his balls. I was always like giving him shit, and I would go to all the games and like cheer obnoxiously and give people shit. But he always knew, like, he would always in class be like, I know you always dreamed of being on the team and you're not, like, stuff like that. And I go, and I know you always dreamed of winning a championship. You're just not good enough. Like, I would say stuff like that to him. And we always had that banter, and everybody knew how big of a baseball fan, because he would talk sports. I knew everything about baseball, all the stats. And I remember one day at the end of the year, we're seniors.
Radio, aren't you?
We're seniors, and it's like the last month, and he goes, he's talking about like kids going on. And he goes, this one guy, I've always had a heart for him. He's been a big fan, and from me and the rest of the baseball team, we actually want you to have this. And they gave me a jersey like I'm some sort of special kid.
Your radio.
Who's radio?
Remember the like Cuba Gooding Jr. movie?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm the special kid that got the jersey who never played a game in his life. I would have preferred to have like an inning where I got to pitch, where they like, you know what?
Where they put in the manager and he throws up a 3 and like,
yeah, yeah.
Oh man, put you at first base.
Put me somewhere. Looking back, I wish I would have senior year. I said, you know what? Let me play one game. If they probably can't do that, but still, well, I had a couple best friends that were playing on the team. But
why is this not a bit on stage for you?
Well, I forgot about the story. I had thought about it years ago. It's somewhere in my notes. I've tried everything at this point. And then I remembered it, and I was like, well, let me talk about it in the podcast first. Because as you see, it's funny. I don't know if it's a stand-up funny thing, but I thought I would talk about it and see if I could find funny in it. And it's kind of funny, but I brought it and I was like, you know what? I'll start wearing this.
It's hilarious.
I'm going to wear it on stage one day, and then I'll talk about it on stage to where then it's funny in a form of it doesn't have to be so polished to where they're with it because I'm wearing it. Yeah, and then I could find the funny in it possibly. So, I'll wear it this weekend probably.
You got to let the crowd make guesses.
Yeah. So this is it. Number 11. Not the number I would have preferred, but you can't. That's what they had. So
what number did you want?
Of course, my number's 3, but like probably someone had that, that was on the team. But
who did you like growing up that you liked 3?
I always had it because like the smaller kids got 1 through 5, right? And the bigger kids had like 7 through 13 in soccer and in baseball. Mostly soccer, because soccer's like one of the more first things you're playing. And I was always number 3, and I went with that. But like growing up, Dan Marino was 13, so there's 3 in there. And then after, when I was in, when I got to college, Dwayne Wade was number 3. So
I was always 7 because
7?
I liked Nolan Ryan,
of course,
and
Mickey Mantle,
and anybody, like everybody who had 34, 3 + 4, 7. That was my number.
Mickey Mantle. Mm-hmm. That's one of the bigger ones I know. Now going back home, I also was going through some of my old what do you call them? Like old autographs and plaques. What would you call those stuff that memorabilia that people would collect? I feel like, I don't know, of course, why would we know? We don't have kids, but like, I know my nephews aren't into it, but I felt like in our generation, the 90s, memorabilia was a thing. People collected. I don't know if it is today because autographs are kind of like, I met him.
It's actually way bigger now than it was.
It's crazy. Baseball. I got a lot of old cards, so I remember I have them. They're like, just keep holding them. But yes, I mean, I because people get pictures now, and that's, sometimes you got autographs. I felt like memorabilia is big for the people who want to trade and sell. Yeah. But I always would appreciate autographs. Like, oh, this is me meeting him. Like I have a Jeff Conine ball. I don't know if you know who that is. Like a pretty average guy, had a good career, but won both World Series. The Marlins, like that one, I was like, oh, he's Mr. Marlin. But like, I remember I got the Ricky Williams autograph because he was a big Dolphin. It was he had some cool years with the Dolphins. And now I'm older. I'm like, no, what would be cooler is to have an episode of a podcast with Ricky Williams, great, one of the greatest college running backs. And, some could argue if you put the stats together, a top 100 NFL running back in history.
No. He had 10,000 yards in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. I'm arguing for that. So I would say he's top 50.
You got to put him in the top 30.
Yeah, I would either but in my head, listen, here's what I do know. Less than 25 guys have rushed for 10,000 yards. But the thing is, it was just like there was a couple seasons where he was very consistent. I even argue that like his numbers are what is required to become a Hall of Fame running back. Do you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go look. What is 10,000? How many? 25 guys?
I'm looking that up right now.
I've looked it up before because I was like, I think he just broke 10,000. It was like 10,080.
He just broke it, yeah.
But I think his touchdowns are like 60. And then, he had his 2 dominant years in Miami, and then he had sporadic years around the league with the Ravens, the Saints. But so I don't think
So there's 31.
31 guys, and he's number 31. Yeah. So there you go. So I think over time, I think that in 20 years he could be, because right now you're not going to see a lot of guys hit 10,000 anymore.
But like, let me ask you this:
he might be offered it in 20 years.
Would you take, if you were a GM, would you take Ricky, or would you take Tiki Barber?
Well, at the time you would take Ricky. Ricky would have been drafted before all of them, because you got to understand, until I think
Ricky or LaShawn McCoy.
You would take Ricky. LaShawn McCoy just played 20 seasons.
Yeah.
You got to understand Ricky
or Corey Dillon.
Ricky. I mean, there's no answer. I'm telling you right now, Ricky coming out of college was the all-time rushing leader in college, and then that was eventually broken by, I believe, another Texan, Cadillac Williams, I think, broke it too. Cedric.
No.
It was another. I thought another Texas guy broke it, but it's been broken a few times since then.
Yeah.
But at the time in '99, I think he came out with Peyton Manning.
Yep.
He was the all-time. It was one of the greatest rushers in college history, and he was a beast. So I always loved him, and now I'm 1 degree away from him. And do I believe that I'll sit down and have a conversation with him here? Yes. So do I not need a football signed by him? I didn't get it signed by him. It was purchased and certificate and everything. But I saw it and I go, you know what? You know who would appreciate this? Mark, my producer, Mark. So I flew it all the way from Florida to LA. And I walked in with it's a little deflated.
Much like I was today.
It was a little deflated, much like I was today. It's a little deflated. But easy fix. He could pump it up, and it's for him to have as an appreciation for the life with the Lenoci team. Here we have a big team here. There's 2 of us and a half. We'll give Matt a little shout out again. Go whatever his Instagram is, but he sometimes makes clips for us, and I'll send him more soon when we have more of a funnier episode. Right now, just a nostalgic episode. But yeah, he can have the Ricky Williams ball. Unless somebody wants to, unless somebody, DMs me and is like, hey, I'll pay you $500 for it. No one's going to do that. It's still not worth it. You would have to give me, for me to ask you back for that football, it would have to be at least $2,000. Because then even you would be like, oh, okay, yeah, let me get 500. But there's no way, like, there's not an amount, because then we're like, that's so stupid. Like, he's not even dead. Knock on wood. But he's also probably our age, actually, right now. Now that I think about it, we're probably the same. No, he's a little older. Because if he graduated college in 99, he's like 4 years older.
Yeah, he's
got to be like 41. But, again, keep looking out. He will be one of the very few and only guests on this podcast. It will be Ricky Williams. Only athletes. I will only have athletes on this podcast.
You promise?
I think so.
You're not going to have Maddie on?
No. What's the point? Like, no, there's no point. I'm not having Bill on. Bill Burr, Louie, if they want to do it. I'm like, no. Are you an athlete? They would have to come on and say that they're an athlete. On the plane, I watched Top Gun. Have you seen it yet?
Not yet. I'll be watching it this week.
I cried, man. I cried. Because you know why? It was nostalgic. It brought me back to being a kid, and it was unbelievably good.
Wait,
it was so good.
Crying on the plane.
Yeah, I wasn't crying hard like I have before.
Did a tear roll down your cheek?
No. But I was like,
But you had watery eyes.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And I thought it was a very good movie. I thought it was like, because when they try to do sequels or remakes, they've all like been awful. I actually thought, by the way, Ghostbusters was great. Paul Rudd Ghostbusters, the most recent one. Did you see that?
It's not bad.
I didn't think it was that bad at all. Loved it. And also made me very teary-eyed because it just brought you back to your childhood, because the way they tied everyone back into it was awesome. So that makes you sad because you realize you're getting older, right? I know that's what I've always heard. I heard that when you go back home and you look at old photos, that's what I did this week. You look at old photos, you get sad. You look at old videos, you get sad because it's a reminder that you're older. So, Top Gun, great movie. So great that it made me realize that Tom Cruise is the greatest actor of all time. And we're not talking about skill set. He just does the job when it comes to entertaining you, playing his part. Listen, is he Tom Hanks or Leo or, Matthew McConaughey? He doesn't do that. But what he does is deliver almost 100% of the time. He does his job and he makes movies for us. And for that, he is the greatest of all time. He is ahead of Harrison Ford. He is ahead of Sean Connery. He is ahead of Michael Keaton. He is ahead of Diane Keaton. He is ahead of Alec Baldwin. He is ahead of Bruce Willis. He is ahead of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Michael Keaton again. His second time around, he's ahead of all of them. He does his job.
I want to argue, but
you can't.
I can't.
Because you know why? Because he's going to come out with Mission Impossible next year, and it's going to be great. And you know why? He's on a plane, falling off of it without a parachute, and still survives.
How do you feel about the middle tooth?
I'm not bothered by it. Why do I care? Why do I care what his smile looks like?
You can't unsee it.
But it's just the shape of the head. So, you know what? Maybe you need that. Maybe that's why he's so special. And I don't need to be reading any more books for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life.
What, did you take that from Kanye?
Did he say that?
Yeah, Kanye came out yesterday and said, like, he started a school.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh, I haven't read a book.
Oh, Jesus, Kanye, you're going to make this fucking segment very hard for me. I don't need to read books because somebody else can read it out loud for me. That's my whole thing. We have the technology so that I can why do I need to read if you listen, if there's an article, clip it. Why am I reading articles? Clip the goddamn thing that you're saying. Why are we ever writing or reading again? Did you read that book? Make it an audio book. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that article about that player? Just say it. Say what instead of taking your time to write it out and send it to the editor. And that time, it's funny too. Instead of, hey, I work for the Washington Post sports section, doing an article on the Commanders, aka Redskins. Okay. Let me do an article about this and then get it through with the editors at the print to get approved. And all that time, you could have just set up your iPhone and just made a digital article for the website and just said what you were going to say. Why? Because then you don't even need to edit. You could stutter. You could have pauses whenever you want. You could capitalize words like, oh my God. Oh my God. Give me, you're tired, huh?
No.
Give me a reason. I'm kind of right.
I'm the opposite of you. Because when you pull up, if you're scrolling on Yahoo, I will take the article 100% of the time because I can skim through that in seconds as opposed to waiting for the ad to process, the ad to go through.
No.
And then you have, You probably watch more videos on ESPN. You can't tell me that there's not an ad that plays before every video.
But I'm watching a 5-minute segment, even a 7-minute segment. When I'm watching Pat McAfee on YouTube, I'm watching, you click the 5 seconds, it skips the video. He doesn't write articles, but a segment
No, I'll take the article all day because I can actually just skip to the information that I want.
Really? Well, I don't know, man. I disagree.
Well, I know you have a hard time with words, so.
And there's a reason why. Some people even say, hey, this guy swears a lot in his stand-up because he lacks a vocabulary. Duh. 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 So don't fault me for my shortcomings, but I'm still doing my dream. Still doing it. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, did someone hit you with that this week?
No, I've seen it in the past.
Did your mom tell you to stop swearing when you do your stand-up?
No, but I'll try to for her. You know what I mean? Well, listen, guys. I will be traveling a lot, and we have to try to get in a couple episodes here. But we don't have the content. So because of that, it's your fault. So, you guys need to write in or comment or email more. And again, I've sent out some idiot hoodies to people who have hit me up on Instagram and purchased this. This is a bad episode.
No, it's actually quite fine.
I'm just saying I'm having a bad time with words. But listen, you guys can purchase them from me. But also, if you are a Patreon, I've sent one out to one of our members or one of our couple. We have one. But when we get to 10, we're going to do extra content for you. I hope you like the new studio. The lighting, we go green is better. It's better for the energy. They say it's a sexual energy. It brings up it makes people feel sexy. Green. Ooh. I don't know. Makes me feel sporty. Green, grass, sports, field goals. You know what we didn't do today? The soundboard at all. We didn't need it.
No, today wasn't a soundboard.
Today's more of a morn board. Yeah. I don't have anything, Mark.
Do you want to end it here?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I like the silent pocket right there. I think it's fine. Like, if you're listening, I get that you're like, what the hell's going on? But there's okay to have like the awkward moments. Yeah, I think that's it this week, guys. I'm just not, we got a lot of stuff going on. So it's going to be a little, we'll see what we got going on. But this is our studio. We're not moving. So we're good to go. And hold on. Can you just get one noise or something?
Sheesh.
Cool. Well, he got...
Sheesh.
Is that your voice?
No. That's a meme. Come on.
It's a meme?
Yeah.
Shout out to Taravella Baseball. Hell yeah. Who knows if they've ever done good after that. But I got my 20th high school reunion coming up in March. Did you ever go to yours?
No, I can't.
Well, you're also not there yet.
Well, like...
Why can't you? Because
my high school's in Cairo.
Go.
Do you know how expensive it is to get to Egypt?
Also, they probably don't have reunions there. They just have funerals.
They do it, but they do it weird where they only do they'll do 2000 to 2005 all at one.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, guys, right in this week. Sorry for the short episode. We will get back on track. There's been it's been very busy the last couple of weeks. I've been out of town a lot. So I am not all there together right now. So I apologize for that. I just wanted to put out some content for you. And, sometimes you have to worry about yourself, and let that be a lesson this week. At the end of the day, you have to focus on your personal health and well-being before you can, put your foot forward in other stuff, because, otherwise you're going to, deteriorate. I think. I don't know. I think that's the right. But, listen, I don't want to, again, put out a bad episode for you guys. I just wanted to get something out there this week for you guys before I can get back on track. And again, I apologize for the short episode, but we will be back on track in a couple weeks. So bear with me. Thank you. Like, subscribe, comment, and we will see you next week.